2 grown men lived inside a space the size of a telephone booth for 14 days. The Gemini Space Capsule was always meant to be a bridge. Mercury got us into space. Gemini proved we could stay there. Apollo got us to the moon. Without Gemini in the middle, there was no way to know if any of that was actually doable. Instead of the rocket-powered escape towers that Mercury and Apollo used, they built Gemini with fighter plane ejector seats. The seats had to be redesigned to get the astronauts 800 feet away from the rocket, fast enough that the parachutes could open without catching fire. What they worked out in that process went directly into building out the Apollo missions. The capsule has thrusters and was designed to move freely in orbit. That maneuvering capability is how Neil Armstrong ended up in a serious emergency. He was docked with the Gemini satellite when a thruster stuck open and started spinning the whole combined assembly. They undocked from the Gemini thinking that would help, but it made things worse because now they didn't have the mass of the Gemini to slow them down. They just kept spinning faster and faster, and Armstrong blacked out before they finally got the thrusters shut down and made it home. Gemini also proved that the human body does not handle zero gravity well over time. When they put the crew in space for the full expected length of the lunar mission, it was the first time anyone got real data on what weightlessness does to bone mass and muscle mass. Your body stops allocating resources to both the moment it decides it doesn't need to. We need constant pressure on our skeletons and muscles to keep them dense and strong. Gemini taught NASA that before Apollo ever launched. Ed White did one of the first spacewalks out of the Gemini capsule, spending about 24 minutes out there on a 25-foot tether. He said it was one of the saddest moments of his life when NASA ordered him back inside. I spent time in Iraq living in a track vehicle not much bigger than this capsule, and we at least got to step outside occasionally. For White, stepping outside meant a spacesuit, a tether, and a whole lot of prep. The Gemini project did 10 crewed missions over 19 months, and the technology never once failed. The redundant systems they developed along the way became critical years later when Apollo 13 got trapped in their capsule. Some of the things they had to do to survive, they couldn't have known to include in the ship if they hadn't done Gemini the way they did it.